Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday's edition of the vlog. Feeling a little bit better today after I had a bit of an ulcer problem on Monday, so let's get into some snake facts straight away, shall we? And we'll do a bit of an educational one today, and I'll share a couple of things that I've got going on in the future for CBTV, and of course cold-blooded exotic pets and supplies as well. So let's get straight into it. So as you guys know, this is Buddy the diamond python, otherwise known as the Morelia spilota, and these guys are a carpet python, and they're actually found around the New South Wales area, and they're the common carpet python in that area, and they're also found in northern Victoria as well in some parts. But these guys are basically the same as the coastals that we get in Queensland, and the reason why they're called the diamond python is pretty simple really, and it's because of the diamond patterning all over its body. As you can see, those white little sort of like spots, they're actually classified as diamond shapes, and they come in a variety of colors, whether it be the green and yellows like Buddy is turning out to be, or a previous diamond python that I owned, and it was actually a black and white one. And these guys can typically get to about 1.8 meters in length, with some being above that and getting to 2.8 meters, which is just massive. I remember the diamond python that I owned, Addy, who passed away, was around that 8-foot mark, and he was pretty much done with his growing. So it was a decent sized python, and it was a strong bugger too. But these guys will generally just feed on things like your rodents, your quails, stuff like that in captivity. But they do a service in the wild as well. They come through and normally nest up inside of houses and just take care of the rodent problem there, and that kills any chances of these rodents up in your roof causing house fires, electrical problems, all that sort of stuff, which people seem to forget when they've got a little house snake resident helping them out. But again, that comes down to the educational value. So I'm hoping that we can play our part from Cold Blooded and CBTV to share this information with you all, and hopefully be able to take these guys out and just share how beautiful they are and how placid they are. They're not out to kill everyone, they're not here to bite, they're not here to do anything. As long as you don't flick them around or go at it with a shovel, you're generally fine, as long as you don't have an elapid, of course. Then you just call your professional snake catcher in, and they'll come and do the job, remove it, and let it go for you. But let's get into another snake, shall we? So onto another carpet python now, and these guys hit the reptile trade really, really well at the start, and these of course are the Jaguar carpet pythons. Now, from memory, these Jaguar carpet pythons came from a pure coastal to pure coastal breeding, and just out of the blue came up with these abnormal patterns, different coloration, and come with, unfortunately, a bad neurological problem. Now, as this guy here does not seem to show much of a neurological problem, which a lot of Jaguar carpet pythons can show, there's a fair few collections out there that have a very good majority of Jaguar carpet pythons, and they tend to not have any neurological problems whatsoever. So with that said, it's still a bit of a hard subject to be able to breed these guys because of the animal's welfare, and of course making sure that they're completely healthy for sale and for breeding purposes. But when these guys hit the market, they were going anywhere from over $1,000, $2,000, anywhere to $700 as well. Like this boy, for example, was about $790 back when we got him 3 to 4 years ago now, and that was at a pet store as well. But the more popular these guys got, and especially how the breeding of carpet pythons are and how many eggs they produce, they got pretty popular, as you can imagine. But this guy tends to be a little bit finicky with his handling at times, but as long as you are gentle, give him a bit of a perch to hold on to, he's generally fine. With that said though, there is over 100 teeth in these guys, and to be bitten by one, it's a bit of a shock. You bleed out a little bit, but other than that, you're not gonna die, you're not gonna do anything else. You might get a bit of bruising when they get a bit older, but other than that, it's just a bite. You've just gotta make sure you're very, very careful around them and read your snake. It's as simple as that. And if you obviously don't own snakes, call a professional, they'll come and catch it, and especially if it's one of these, it's probably a lost pet. So I think we'll be able to fit one more snake in for you, a bit of information, or squeeze some in for a bit of an educational value, and then we'll shut it off. So last but not least, I'm going to showcase this little Woma python here. And this is one that we bred in captivity. And they're actually classed as an endangered species on the Gold Coast in the Queensland area. They can be a little bit feisty at times as their nature, and I tend to think of it as the fact that their heat sensing pits are actually located inside their mouth compared to the carpet pythons that have their heat sensing pits around the side of their mouth, around their lips. So these guys tend to be a bit more of at a defensive posture and strike when ready, but these guys tend to be quite placid, the ones that are bred in captivity, with the exception of some that get quite agitated and aggressive at times. But that's just, you know, you get that with people. You might see someone that's a bit angry and on the street and you think, what's his problem, what's her problem? It's the same with snakes. Sometimes they just had a bad day, sometimes they're just born that way, and it's just how it is sometimes. But these guys will actually be found in Central Australia around the arid and desert environment, and they love it really, really hot. Same with the other species of Aspidites, which is the black-headed python. So they're both in the same genus, and they do both love that desert environment, nice and hot. And the black-headed pythons especially love that tropical environment as well. But these guys you'll tend to see in Central Australia, around South Australia as well. And a few, I believe, in Western Australia, but you'll most likely find a lot of these guys, unfortunately, as roadkill, as they do love that road, how hot it gets in that central environment, getting into the 40-degree mark, and even lower. They want to grab all that heat and heat themselves up as much as possible to be able to get through the day. So we want to make sure that whenever we see one of these guys on the road, I tend not to swerve, but we want to make sure that we're going to make sure that we're looking for these guys around and keeping an eye out for them, as they are classed as an endangered species. But I do believe some people are looking around to try and find where these guys are and try and get at least a little bit of a numbers game to bring them back up. But unfortunately they do get eaten by the mulga snakes out there as well. So it's a bit of a fighting with Mother Nature, as I guess you could say. But nonetheless, these guys are amazing creatures, and I do love them as much as I love every other snake out there. But there you go, Woma python. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the educational value of this vlog today. I thought, you know what, I better start sharing a bit of my knowledge and what I know about my own reptiles. And of course, when we get into the CBTV episodes, we're going to be learning so much more come time for episodes to be launched, as well as the fact that we're going to that Wollongong Expo. So we're getting a lot of merchandise ready. We did sell all those CBTV mugs as well, so thank you very much for all of your support. We will be booking in to get that sponsor an animal, and I believe we're going to go with Agro from Australia Zoo, which was one of Steve Irwin's relocations to Australia Zoo. And I think I saw a video the other day of Agro actually chasing lawnmowers, which rings a bell from when I was watching as a little kid. So if you need to know what one we're sponsoring, check out Agro at Australia Zoo and you'll know exactly what we mean. But with that said, I'm going to go and head it now, and don't forget, guys, to hit that subscribe button for me. Let's bump these numbers up and get this educational value pushed out as much as we can. Hit that notification bell, and of course drop a comment down if you want to have a chat. Till then, I will see you guys on Monday.